Hello and welcome back. This is Kingsley and this is my video journal for the 67 Steps program. Today is day 5, step 4, which is called Picasso's Rising Tide and the Law of 33%. In this step, Ty talks about not only the people to spend your time with, but about how much time you should be spending with those particular people. And it's really about finding mentors. So he opens this by talking about Darwin and some of the other, Dawkins and some of the other people who've he's read books by, and just sort of the law of really any species across the board. So we're all born with the innate ability to learn, or an innate skill that we already exists within us. For example, it is passed down through the genetics of certain breeds of dogs, that they are naturally hunters, or they're naturally retrievers, or they're naturally aggressive. It's passed down through their genetics. And just like that, with that species, with humans, there is, a predisposition in some kind of way that we carry, the way our bodies are genetically impacted. We can make some changes to that, but not completely. And we're not talking about sexual gender change. We're talking about just the way we process foods, the way we react to circumstances. That comes down through genetics and heredity and environmental impact and the whole thing. But we start out with something that is we're not completely a clean slate, but what we are is we're open to learning as children. Of course, that's why over time we become very rigid as people. We can become very rigid as people and stop, allowing new information in. And that's when we sort of settle in. And when you're settled, usually you become, that creates a disposition. You can become, very recluse. You can become, isolated. You can become very argumentative or combative. The whole thing. So your environment and just the predisposition that you have in the world is very important. And so when we're born, as humans, we're given this gift, the ability to learn, the ability to seek information and to evolve over the course of that information that we've got. So he talks about how we as people should always find people who are 15, 20 years ahead of us that are matching with the goal of what we want. So for example, me as an actor, if I wanted the kind of career I would like is that one, like someone like Tom Hanks has had, where he's done a lot of different types of roles. He's really stepped outside of his comfort zone sometimes. He's explored options. I'd also love to have a career like Tom Cruise has had, where he's become a great action star. I'm not talking about his personal life. I'm talking about his acting career. Those are people who I respect. Billy Crystal as a director. He started out as a comedian, and an actor, and now he's a director. Directs films, writes films. Excuse me. He's had that progression of his talents, and he's up there with one of the people who I respect when it comes to his success rate. So it's about mentors. Mentors are very important, and let's talk about the law of 33%. He talks about the idea of that is you spend you split up your day or your time availability over in 3 ways. With people who are lower than you, meaning people who are not at the same place you are in life, that are still struggling, maybe, not having as much success as you have accomplished. And there's always someone who's either doing better or, quote unquote, worse than you are, or struggling more than you are. So you spend 33% of your time with those people so that you can offer support to them and assistance to them, inspiration, motivation. And as you go up, you'll realize the next 2 aspects of this are the people who will help you with the first group of people. So the second group of people are the people who are on the same level as you. They've got the same ambitions, the same, drive. They're after the same similar goals, or just same passionate approach to getting what they want as you are. And you can associate with them and you build these lifelong friendships, because these are the people who will know you through the hard times and the good times, and hopefully be by you through the course of it. And then the group on the other end of the spectrum are the people you should be learning from. Those people who are 15 or 20 years ahead of you on average, maybe a little more, whatever, that have gotten the same result or close to the same result as you want from a professional perspective or a personal perspective. They're not in the same realm. Just because there's someone who's successful in business doesn't mean that they have the exact same kind of lifestyle that you want in a personal sense. They may be someone who is has difficulty with fidelity. They may be someone who is poor with money. They may be someone who is a cluster hog, and you may not like those aspects of their personal life. But professionally, they may have gotten to the top of the chain in their work and succeeded in somehow. You want to learn from those people. So those are the people you want to look for as mentors. So the idea is you spend approximately 33% with each of these groups, of course, across the course of your day or during your week. Now, of course, you can't spend every waking hour with these people. And it's about dividing it up to where you're not spending so much time with the group of people who are struggling more than you are, and less time with the people who are 20 years ahead of you. You want to balance. If at best you want to be spending at least a little more time with these people who are 20 years ahead of you. But it is said that, spending time with a diverse group of people and even species can actually help you to, keep a certain energy and to keep your mind working as far as learning. Like, in other words, you can spend time with people who are very, elderly, and people who are, very, very young. You can spend time with dogs, you can spend time with cats, you can spend time with birds. It's not something you need to just start spending your entire day across and saying, okay, I got to spend time with a horse, I got to spend time with a dolphin. It's not about that. It's just saying that the more diversity you have in the realm of people that you know, especially going up the ladder to where you want to get to in your personal or professional life, the better you are and the more likely you are to get to that. And also, by having mentors who are ahead of you, if you're, you've got to be consistent and effective in trying to accomplish these people or secure these people to be your mentors. Maybe for a year, maybe for two, maybe for your lifetime, whatever it may be. Those are the things that you have to try and accomplish, is finding these mentors, and then also helping people who are also struggling along the way, who you might be able to offer motivation and inspiration to. So those are really the key points he talked about. If you want to know more about the 67 Steps program, you can go visit tailopez.com, TAILOPEZ.com. Look into the program for yourself. But I'm going to get into answering the question. It's one question, but it's a big question, which is, who are the 10 people you are going to seek out as mentors, and how are you going to learn from them? So there's a couple of aspects to it. For me, let's just say mentors in business. There's different levels of success, and depending on the business that I want to learn from. Acting wise, Tom Hanks, Billy Crystal. Let's see, who's some of the other people? I have a friend named Chris Kroc, so he's definitely someone who I appreciate when it comes to radio, and his ability to be natural on radio, and how he goes through his pattern of learning what he wants to write about. And I want to get into doing, part-time radio. There's people like Shay Carl, who's he's roughly the same age as I am, but professionally speaking, he's 10 years ahead of me. So he's someone I can learn. He's someone I can learn from. There's people like even Ty Moss, who's 22 years old or something like that. He's someone I can learn from, because he's been doing it for 3 years consistently. As far as the top of stuff's concerned, and when it comes to filmmaking, I would definitely say, like I said, Billy Crystal. Who are some of the other directors that I really like? Gary Marshall, Penny Marshall. These are both very good directors. Jon Favreau, amazing director. Let's see, acting wise, who else would I say I like a lot? I'm also, I have a lot of respect for Matt LeBlanc, believe it or not, the gentleman who played Joey on Friends. Those are some of my acting mentors. If I think of anybody else, I'll keep going. I'm not going to necessarily, by the way, stick to the 10. I'm going to stick with the people who come to my brain, because this is a journal for me to reference back. And then look back if I ever want to go, okay, who am I going to get a hold of? Then also in a business side, Warren Buffett's someone. Tim Ferriss has gotten some great ideas. I'd like to learn more about his perspective on things. Ty Moss is definitely, one of my mentors when it comes to seeking out the things that I want in life, because he's certainly found a way to diversify and still keep up with his goal, which is to, provide positive information via the media. Then there's people like Warren Buffett, who's very successful. Sam Walton's very successful. He talks about how you can use books to have as mentors to make friends with the imminent dead. I would definitely say that Helen Keller is someone who I would consider a mentor in that way, because she's someone who has definitely struggled with a challenge, a physical challenge that I certainly have struggled with because of my sight impairment. Hers was more extreme than mine, and she still accomplished amazing things. Stevie Wonder's someone. Stevie Wonder, he's a gentleman who has accomplished a lot for someone who is sight impaired. When it comes to political perspectives, it's interesting to me, because on one area, I think Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity, those guys are fascinating figures. The way their political perspective is. George W. Bush is even, an interesting person. I also want to know the other side of that, though. Even though I think there's a lot of similarity between politicians when it comes to, in the parties, the perspectives, I'm certainly interested in distinctive different perspectives. So I would also say, even Barack Obama, as big of a, as much as I take issue with his perspective on things, I actually would like to know why he feels that way, so I can understand it, and maybe I can go, okay, well, maybe that makes more sense to me, because I have a little trouble understanding it. Is it purely his actions purely for the purposes of developing a voter base for the Democratic Party, or is he really trying to make a positive impact? And what is his, forethought that he's ultimately wanting to get accomplished? So those are some of the people. How am I going to seek them out? Really, it comes down to writing letters. Fortunately, with Chris, I know contact with him, with Shay Carl and people like Ty Moss or Chris Pirillo, who's another good one. It's about showing that I'm an active and consistent participant in it, and then contacting them and saying, I'm doing vlogs. I've been doing it for about 4 or 5 months, and I really want to learn more from you and how you choose to film stuff and how you edit it fast and the whole thing. What's your process? The others, it's going to be writing letters saying, this, I've been studying your work and I respect this and I want to do more of this. I've been watching how you developed as an actor. I'd like to know what steps you took to step outside and really achieve your dreams. And I'm sure there's more things I can think of. I just don't think of them at the particular moment. Definitely reaching out to them though and saying, hey, this is who I am. This is why I'm distinctive. I know that I have something unique to offer, and you're someone who's definitely brought something unique to the table, and I would like to learn about how you harnessed that ability and how you created momentum to get where you're at. So that would be my answer to the question for today. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care and live with passion.